Big ugly fuck. It's showtime.
Hello everybody, my name is KidKinobi, and I'm so excited that the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer has finally come out, and I have a lot of ideas going, so I picked up on a lot of things, and I think this will be the perfect excuse to make a video on the movie and to do like a trailer breakdown. So if you don't know who I am, for some reason, if this is the first video that you're clicking on me, I have a very intrinsic relationship with the Mortal Kombat property. A big bulk of my channel is made up of examining the fatalities, x-rays, fatal blows of the recent games all the way back to Mortal Kombat 9, MKX, MK11, MK1, even some of the other NetherRealm Studio games. So I know a lot about the franchise and I've followed it for a while. I'm very interested in it. So let's just go through this trailer. But before we do, there was a stream reveal countdown where they released character posters of all the main players in the movie. First off is Raiden, Kitana, Johnny Cage, Jade, Sonya Blade, Sindel, Liu Kang, Bi-Han, Scorpion, Shang Tsung, Baraka, Jax, Kano, Cole Young, Kung Lao, and then finally Shao Kahn. 16 total characters. I think it's interesting who is here, because obviously we've seen a good number of these people straight up just die. Like, we know Bi-Han, Sub-Zero turns into Noob Saibot, so that was to be expected. But seeing Kung Lao back and Kano is interesting, mainly because if you look on the character posters of Kung Lao and Sindel, you'll see that they have this eye thing going on, that kind of like eye scarring. I think they're revenants. I don't think they're going full MKX and 11 where it's like, oh, they're basically gray zombies. I think they're just revenants under the control of maybe Shang Tsung, or, you know, there's a background player that's been here a lot, Quan Chi, Shinnok. Those guys are in the background. Those haven't been revealed yet, so, and they're mostly tied with the Revenant. So I could see end credit scene being Quan Chi showing up and be like, hey, those Revenants I rented to you, how'd they turn out? But we haven't even started the trailer, so let's start it. So first thing that we already see is Johnny Cage on scene of one of his movies, namely Uncaged Fury, which they teased before the actual teaser. And it's crazy to see someone wearing the actual Mortal Kombat 11 jacket of Johnny Cage in real life. It really is straight off the game. As you can see, those are some of the posters. And Raiden over here wearing, like, this is a big departure from what he looked like in the first movie. And honestly, it kind of fits a little weird. I think those braces are humongous, but it is nice to see him wearing something Raiden-like. Here is most likely the Sky Temple, or where, you know, the Earthrealm monk warriors fight. It does, however, look to be the same environment that we see later on, where there's like a special element that appears in the sky that I'm going to talk about. So we got Kitana versus Johnny Cage going on probably somewhere in an outworld village. You know, we got like doors, huts, kind of like there was cooking equipment in the back. This is like a courtyard probably. Now this, I have big theory right now. I believe this is King Jared. If you don't know who King Jared is in the Mortal Kombat lore, Outworld was really two places at once. Because the whole thing is Shao Kahn, this big bastard over here, loves merging and conquering realms. And the way he does that is by initiating Mortal Kombat, and if every 10 or 100 years, I forget what the number is, and I think it changes sometimes. In the new continuity, it's basically the Olympics, but in the old continuity, the way Mortal Kombat goes is that if I'm trying to invade and merge your realm, I challenge you to Mortal Kombat, and if I beat your fighters 10 times in a row through 10 Mortal Kombat tournaments, then you instantly lose and your realm is merged into mine. So I think, because Outworld, as we know it right now, is currently a mixture of multiple realms. Like, he took over Reptile's world, he took over Edenia, which is Kitana, Jade, Rain and I think Tanya's world, but Katana's father being King Jared. I could see this being like the opening scene or a flashback where it's like, oh, this is how Mortal Kombat and the realms get taken over. Shao Kahn beating the shit out of and killing King Jared. So I think that is what we're seeing here. I don't think he's a random guy because he's got gold everywhere. And also, this seems very brutal to do to just Joe Mick random guy. And you even see like a busted Coliseum. So I think King Jared put up a good fight. I don't think they're killing him how he usually dies in the series, because usually it's like, oh, he got poisoned or he got assassinated in his sleep, or sometimes Sindel kills him. I think this time he's going out as a warrior's death, and I think he's losing to Shao Kahn. This is a very interesting environment right here. Right here we got Liu Kang, Kung Lao, who we know is dead, so I doubt that he's dead and fighting on the side of good. Odds are that he has been brought back, Revenant, fighting Liu Kang, big emotional scene. I'm assuming they're going to fight in multiple spirit areas, because there is a fight that happens in the Netherrealm that has a bunch of interesting characters in there. This area, which could be the Sky Temple. So here we have Sonya, Johnny, and Cole Young. Before the half hour mark, I think he's dead, to one, show stakes, and two, to basically be like, ha, we don't have to worry about him, guys. Listen, because here's the thing, Johnny Cage is the main character. Like, they're going back to the original Mortal Kombat movie style of Johnny Cage is the self-insert. That's how they did it with MK9 into MKX. He is the human face of the franchise because he's a guy and he's funny and he can make jokes. So this is interesting to see Kano straight up alive. We got somebody feet up. I believe this is Raiden. For some reason, he's kicking his feet up. Or maybe, actually, I think he might be on a slab. No. I just put this together right now. He's on a slab, or, he's on an examination table, because there's a scene later where he wakes up. Where is that? Right, so right here, it looks like Raiden's throat was cut, and then he comes back to life. So this could be, Shang Tsung probably could have done it. He's got the juice to seriously injure Raiden, but he's coming back, and he's recovered, because he is a demigod in human form, and he can't fight in Mortal Kombat unless he depowers himself. So normally outside of Torment, Raiden is like, he's basically Thor, where he's super powerful. Yep, and look at that, the neck wound completely healed. So yeah, we got Kano in the land of the living with Johnny Cage looking over a knocked out Raiden. They probably are going on some fetch quest, because Kano and Johnny Cage appear in the Netherrealm. Okay, Cole Young seems to be in a dungeon. Honestly, this, if I had to guess, I would say this is the acid, the flesh pits. Because usually the flesh pits is, there's a door, gate, long hallway, acid on both sides. This looks like your classic green acid. In that case, I don't know about, listen, I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but I also don't think he needs to get flesh pitted. Also, Jade into the Netherrealm looking like the main priest from Diablo 4. Jax versus Jade. And I assume this is the Outworld Village, because it seems like, there's no audience for an actual tournament. And here we have Jax versus Liu Kang and Cole Young, while Johnny Cage and Sonya are overseeing at the Sky Temple. And here, Baraka looks great. It looks like the Earthrealm heroes get diverged into the Tarkatan war camp. I didn't expect them to put on screen firing arm blades, and Johnny Cage doing some pretty decent acrobatic deflection work here. This is interesting. We see Jax getting teleported away. Jax teleported away, fear in his eyes, in the same room that we saw Raiden in before. So this could be him reacting to Raiden getting injured. Maybe somebody else is getting killed. This is the interesting scene here. This is the thing I've been looking at. So in the trailer reveal countdown, they had the audience in the YouTube chat typing 1 or 2. And as they did, it would either be red red or blue would win, you would get a character poster, and then one of these little sigils would appear. Now, all the sigils appear to be the same, so I think this is a point tally system in the sky made by the Elder Gods, the rulers of this universe that determine who wins Mortal Kombat and whose realm gets defended or taken over. Yeah, oh, and here's interesting. Sindel fighting Sonya Blade, firing her pink projectiles at the bottom of the spike pit. You don't get Noob Saibot by Sub-Zero just coming back to life. You get Noob Saibot because he comes back to life, experimented on, and corrupted. So you get that by Quan Chi or, sometimes Havoc. But I'm betting that we're going in Quan Chi Shinnok direction. And he's straight up pulled from Mortal Kombat 11. Like, this is literally what his armor looks like. He even has the sickle, too. And what's interesting, his shadow clone, usually his shadow doesn't take damage or have organs to cut. But, yeah, it seems like they realized giving a guy with an infinite amount of shadow clones that never die might be a little busted. Here's the always interesting part of the trailer when Shao Kahn says finish him, and then it's a quick cut of figuring out who's fighting what. So we got Kung Lao throwing his hat at Liu Kang. Who is that? Honestly, what if it's Liu Kang and they just did a clever edit where it looks like he's throwing it at two different people? This is Liu Kang, this is Kung Lao, you can tell by the arms. He just somehow threw his hat, and I assume it's going to run around, rotate, and cycle back to try to get him in the back. And then we have Katana trying to use her fans to kill Shao Kahn, and you can see this is the same Outworld market that she was fighting Johnny Cage, that Jade and Jax were fighting in, and now there's an audience here. She's already bloody and without her mask. This is just a random Outworld soldier getting sliced up by Baraka. I wonder, are they gonna make Baraka a good guy? Johnny Cage and Kano and Noob Saibot in the Netherrealm. Now, it makes sense that Noob is here because he's a Revenant. It also makes sense why Kano would be here, because he's dead. And we know he's dead, not injured, because you only get the mark that Sonya Blade got, which was the Arcana, because in this world, in this retelling of the story, people don't get their superpowers randomly and naturally, or they work at it. They get Arcana, and it's a symbol that is basically in your blood, and if you kill someone with an Arcana, then you get an Arcana. And this happened with Sonya because she had no powers. Kano had an Arcana because he killed someone else who had one. He got it. His manifested as the laser beam eye. Sonya killed him, and then she got the pink gauntlets. Johnny Cage currently has no Arcana, but in the trailer promotions and everything, they've been showing him with that green shadow light. So I assume, honestly, Kano could just be the Arcana vending machine where everybody beats his ass, kills him, then they get an Arcana. But the fact that he's currently in a chokehold, about to get killed by Noob Saibot's clone, and you can tell this is his clone because of the muted purple. That's interesting, because I would assume that they would be on the same side, unless it's Kano just double-crossing everybody. I assume it's an assist, because Kano is aiming at Noob Saibot's clone. He laser beams, and he disappears, and Johnny Cage just happens to be underneath, so I don't think he was directly fighting him. It could be a three-way fight, or I think it's actually Johnny and Kano get in over their heads, and Scorpion comes in to assist. Who do I actually think is going to die? Let me put some thought. Okay, I believe that, I don't know, I feel like through the perspective of everything, I could see Liu Kang dying. Because also, that's another thing too, a big franchise thing is Liu Kang, the big hero, always seems to die. So I don't know. I don't know if Shao Kahn loses this, right? Because they could either go one of two paths. Either Outworld wins and we get a whole-fledged Outworld versus Earthrealm war. Or it could go, we won, but now we have the Shinnok threat of all these undead bastards coming back, good guys, bad guys, and now we're in Elder God territory. So, I don't know. That's my predictions. Let me know if you agree, have any other theories, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.